Some NHL fans in Canada say they're feeling a little gouged. Sportsnet has hiked its fees for its subscription-only service. The premium package went up $75 for the year. The basic package is up $50. Customers have been taking to social media expressing their frustration, but Rogers Sports and Media, the company that owns Sportsnet, did not offer a reason for the increase. Patrick Johnston is the sports columnist for the Province newspaper here in British Columbia and wrote about this. So a 30% jump in the premium package. I got to admit, I have that package. I want to watch Edmonton Oilers games, but I live in Vancouver. Am I going to get my money's worth?
Well, I mean, that's become the talking point all the last 2 seasons, really. Your stream drops out. You don't know when your show's going to be on. You can't find it if you miss the game. Certainly the criticism, I think a lot of this is being driven by frustration with the service itself. You know, of course, there is the other thought about it in general. How much am I paying? There's all these different streaming packages. I mean, in a certain level, it's better than it's ever been for a Canadian sports fan, right? You can get any game you want if you line up all the different streaming services, but you put, you know, you add up Sportsnet, TSN, Fubo, DAZN, you're going to end up spending like $1,000, $83 a month just on sports, which certainly is a lot more than you're used to paying in your cable package. And I think that's the other thing that's catching people off guard.
So on the positive side, I mean, there was a time, well, listen, I'm old enough to remember a time when there was one game on TV every week, and I grew up on the East Coast, and then for a while, there was a Wednesday night game, so there were two games that we had, then double headers on Saturday. Now, as you say, if you want to shell out whatever it is now, $300 a year, you can see every single NHL game. Maybe I was on the road on the East Coast and I tried to watch a game, and all of a sudden I couldn't get in, and it said it was I was blocked from watching it. It was, I think it was an Ottawa Senators Edmonton game. I was in New Brunswick, and it's like, wait a sec, I'm paying for this.
Well, that's the other frustration I think people have been feeling for a long time. Why do we even have regional rights anymore? You should just be able to, I'm paying for it, I should be able to watch it. It shouldn't matter where I'm at. And I think that's the next sort of wave of where things are going to be going in terms of the discussion. How do I access these things? Does it really matter that it's just a regional game, that it's just a national game? I mean, you talk about the tentpole of Hockey Night in Canada. That's the frustrating thing. It's no Sportsnet. Since Sportsnet taken over, you know, they started with the big bang, obviously had a lot of big faces, but it's just sort of slowly declined, and we're not seeing the kind of big national tentpole show that it used to be. Obviously, the panel's still there. You know, people are working hard, but the idea of it being appointment viewing has perhaps been lost. And it's ironic, given that you can get all these games, but they're still trying to hype up a Saturday night, and it doesn't feel like that despite all the money you're paying.
So if Rogers came to you, and because you know a lot about sports, you're a sports writer, columnist here for the Province, and they said, look, you know, we pay a lot for the rights here. We got to get some of that money back. We've got captive viewers like me who want to watch these games. How should we handle this price increase? What would you say to that?
Well, I mean, you're going to have to make your own decision. It's tough. I mean, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine who's from Long Island, huge Islanders fan. The Islanders are a very interesting point in their development, but he's getting hit with a big increase. You know, if you think about it in terms of the whole year, it's obviously shocking. If you sit back, look at it month by month, maybe it's a bit different. I mean, everything's gone up. It's hard to understand why they've gone up in this case because they're not giving us a reason. I suspect that what the real story is that Rogers said, we think people are just willing to pay, and this is what they're going to go with. And they used to pay this much for cable. They're not paying for the other channels. We think we can get them this way.
But should we expect more from Rogers?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that, like I said, the stability. My main point in the column was the app, fix the app, right? People shouldn't get punted out watching their own game. People shouldn't get frustrations trying to watch a regional game where they're clearly in British Columbia and they're trying to watch the Vancouver Canucks. And the what's on offer in terms of, you know, the long form journalism they used to provide, you know, they've cut back on that. There's all these things that they used to do that they don't do anymore that is hard to square when you're raising prices as they are.
It would be nice if the channel celebrated hockey and there was a little bit of extra premium stuff that you weren't getting anywhere else. Let me finish with this. We only have about 30 seconds. How do you watch hockey?
Well, I actually use this, but of course it helps with work. But you know, it's my job. I mean, I do generally do this, and you know, I'm able to watch other games. You know, it's good enough, I suppose, but it's still frustrating, especially when you think about where we used to be. You could pick any broadcast you wanted. You could pick whatever commentators you wanted. You know, again, you're paying a lot more for not as much as you used to get, and I live it just as the same as everybody else.
Yeah, Patrick Johnston, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian.